does it mean for God to be eternal outside of time? Like, how does that work?
What do you mean? How does that? It's just like that's just like saying, how does it work?
Yeah, the Bible right here.
That's
Let's see.
hold on. That's just like saying,
That's not the point.
bro. That's just like saying, like
then
how does it work if a person who
What
made a
chapter would that be
computer
in?
is not trapped inside of the code? Like something has to be outside of the scope of what's created. So if I create a computer, I'm not going to be trapped inside of the computer. I'm going to be outside of
this
it
is too much.
because I have to make it. So God has to be outside of time, space, and matter in order to create something like that.
What?
If God is affected by time,
Wow.
space, and matter, then he's not God. Time, space, and matter is what we call a continuum. All of them have to come into existence at the same
Just repeat the
instant.
same sentence.
Because if they were matter but no space, where would you put it? If they were matter, space, but no time, when would you put it? You
Sorry,
can't.
you don't wanna come- you probably don't wanna come over here.
You cannot have time, space, or matter independently. They have to come into existence
don't know
at
what's
the
going on.
same time. And
Question: Was matter created or destroyed?
It
What?
can't be destroyed.
Yeah, exactly, because it's recycled.
No, you're
It's
thinking of
recycled,
the
it
wrong law.
transforms.
You're thinking about
No,
the
like-
conservation of energy. That's the wrong law. Anyway, the Bible answers your
Let me ask
first
Gronk.
question
Gronk will
in
know.
10 words. The Bible said, "In the beginning, that's time. God created the heaven, there's space, and the earth, that's
Wait, what'd you
matter."
say?
So you have time, space, and matter. He created a trinity of trinities. So you have time, past, present, future. Space has length, width, and height, and matter has solid, liquid, and gas. You have a trinity of trinities created instantaneously,
Gronk,
and
did
the
you just
God
create space?
and the God who created them has to be outside of them. That only makes sense. If he's limited by time, he's not God. The guy who created my computer is not inside of the computer. He's not running around changing the numbers on the screen. The God who created the universe has to be outside of the universe. He's above it, he's beyond it, in it, through it. He's unaffected by it. So for the
This is just Fortnite.
so like the concept, you can't have, God has to be outside of our space continuum in order to have created it. So that's the answer to your question. So he's outside of time, space, and matter and not affected by it.
What are your thoughts on like the Big Bang Theory and how people think about that?
Well, honestly, I feel like when they try to compare it to like Origin, it's not even comparable, because the core problem, you're comparing, like, because people like comparing the Big Bang to prove that Jesus wasn't real or that he didn't resurrect and stuff like that, but you're comparing a historical event claim with a physical cosmology model, and that's not really something that you can compare. I mean, I don't
understand that.
like, the Big Bang didn't happen. Like,
No.
it didn't
Like,
happen because
look, I don't think everything could just like appear.
exactly
one
that's
time.
just common sense. Like the building outside of your house didn't just instantaneously spawn there. Like, order and design reflects a creator that has order and design. You can't all of a sudden create order out of disorder. Like, there has to be, if there's an order, like there's order to your body, right? And so when your body malfunctions and when you have a problem with your body, you go to someone
rebuild.
who understands the order and design of your body. So that's why we as people, when there's malfunctions with us spiritually, on a deeper level, we go to the person who understands the order and design of our spirit, of our body, of our soul, and that's God, because he created us. The Big Bang, see, when people talk about the Big Bang only explains that the universe is expanding, that it was once extremely dense and hot, and that space itself began around like 13.8 billion years ago. But it doesn't claim why something exists rather than nothing. It doesn't claim what caused it. It doesn't say what preceded it. It's just the metaphysical reason for existence. Science can only describe how physical systems behave once they exist.
Are you guys still on this?
Wait, you disagree with science? I'm confused.
It doesn't address ultimate causation. That's like
Wait,
that's
so-
philosophy and metaphysics.
So you guys
Wait,
get
so science
all
isn't just
that?
causation. What do you mean? What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
How does science not address causation? Science explains the phenomenon.
think
It
we
explains
all
what's going
should
on.
I didn't say that. I never said
I
that.
think we all should just start.
You just said it doesn't
doing
address
that.
causation. I'm confused.
I
You're
Yeah,
saying.
that's what I.
it does not address
That's what you just
ultimate.
said.
I said it doesn't address ultimate causation.
What's
my
ultimate
God.
causation? Explain that.
Ultimate causation is like the source of where we came from. You're trying to compare
Oh.
cosmology with philosophy and theology, but that you can't compare those two things. It, like I said, I'm gonna repeat it. The Big Bang explains that the universe was expanding. It was once extremely dense and hot, and that space began around 13.8 billion years ago. It does not claim why something exists rather than nothing. It does not claim what caused it. It doesn't claim what preceded it. It doesn't claim the metaphysical reason for existence. Science explains mechanisms within the universe. It does not explain why the universe exists at all. And then that's where his question comes in when he was talking about God outside of space. Because then you got to ask yourself, like, what's the deeper issue of this? Did the universe begin? And most cosmologists will agree with that. The cause of the universe must be outside of space, outside of time, non-material, and powerful. And if you look at your research and go to history and science, thinkers like Aquinas and Leibniz and modern philosophers, they don't deny science, but you know, they agree with the debate that the Big Bang cannot describe what caused the universe. There has to be something outside of it, which is God.
Why? Why is it the only possible explanation?
Because what do you mean?
Why?
Why does that have to be the...
What do you mean? How's it the only possible explanation that doesn't make sense? Why is it your only in your mind the only option that would make the Big Bang?
Because that's the only thing that would make sense, sir. You have to have something grand and outside of the grand scheme of time, space, and matter in order for it to all exist. That just makes sense on a natural level.
I mean, personally, to me, it seems like you're using it to explain the unexplained. I'm not
No.
like disagreeing.
Well, I mean,
really.
I mean,
What's up?
you can't really explain the universe happening just out of nowhere. If something had a beginning, it had to have a cause. That's
Right.
just
I
common
get that.
sense. So, the Big Bang, like what people talk about the Big Bang being the beginning of the universe. If that's the beginning, it had to have had a cause. And that cause has to be outside of time, space, and matter in order for it to happen. Just like the maker of a computer is not bound inside of the computer, he's outside of the computer so that he can make it, so that it can function. It's an intellectually honest position to say that there has to be something greater outside
Wait.
of time, space, and matter for the universe to have begun.
Okay, so you say something greater. So why is the only explanation in your mind? Like, why is it all? I can only be God that made that.
It's not.
That's what I'm
It's
understanding.
not in my mind. It has to be God.
That's
Because-
just you're saying it has to be. So from your perspective, that's the only thing you can think of possible. You don't think anything else is possible,
No.
correct?
I mean, what would
What would you think is
So,
possible?
is God a
It has to
human
be
being?
someone eternal.
or like
Wait. Sorry, they're talking. What are you saying? Sorry.
so is he a human being or like
No,
a
because if he
spirit,
was,
or is
if
he like an alien?
he's not an
like, no
alien,
offense,
he's an eternal being.
A being.
He is an eternal
Okay.
being outside of time, space, and matter. He can't.
Wait, so if everything has to have a creator, who created God?
He's eternal. You can't create something that's eternal that's always existed. See, you're trying to pull in scientific limitations to an eternal God who's outside of our time, space, and matter,
But
but you
I'm
can't
not
do
pulling
that.
that in. That's what you said from your mouth. Something can't be created. Like, I get that's an eternal, but something has to, like, if something's created, there has to be a creator.
Well, yeah, but
can be the creator,
God wasn't created, so he doesn't have a creator. He's always been. Like I
so
said,
he's always been there.
yes, like I said, if he is affected
But
by
how does that
time,
make sense?
like I said, if he's affected by time, space, or matter, then he's not God. Time, space, and matter is a continuum. Eternal. The reason why our minds can't fathom that, see, it would be a problem if we can figure out God in our 3-pound limited brain. There's a lot of things that you're not going to understand because we're limited by this earth, by this time, space, and matter. But God's outside of
So
that.
why is your explanation absolute? Then I'm so confused about. You're saying that you know his. If you're saying God is uncomprehendable, how can you know his
I
vision?
didn't
That
say
makes
he's
sense to me.
uncomprehendable.
You
I'm
said-
I'm
so
saying
obviously
that we
beyond
can't
compre-
comprehend
sorry.
all of God.
Right. So how are you? What are you to say that he's like? What are you comprehending?
What are you talking about? He literally gave us in his word what he wants us to comprehend. That's why the Bible is there, so we can understand God. He gave us the word of God so we can know him. That's why you should read it if you want to know more about God.
Wait,
Interesting.
so what is monotheism?
The belief in one God. Another evidence, if you want to think about it, moral absolutes is evidence that God exists. Like, for example, I'm convinced that the abuse of innocent children is never good. I'm convinced that objectively the abuse of an innocent child is absolutely evil. Hopefully you guys would agree with that. But the only way there can be an objective moral, a principle of right and wrong that exists as a fact, despite our opinions, is if there is some type of moral lawgiver, some type of pre-human mind who creates and defines the values of human dignity and justice. Otherwise, it would all just be relative.
I know this is like a stupid question, but are we supposed to fear God or trust and love? Like, I know to love him, but
So when you're talking about
doesn't
fear,
it say to fear him in the Bible?
when you're talking about fear, a lot of people think that, oh, I'm supposed to be scared. Nah, fear in
No.
that original context is reverential awe of God. You reverence God. You love him so much that you reverence and respect God. That's what fear is. So yes, we should fear God. We should have a reverence and respect for God because he's the creator of the universe. Like, come on. Even if you go to a castle and you see a king and a queen, you have a certain fear for them by like, oh my goodness, that's the king and queen of England. Oh my goodness, let me like bow a knee, take a knee. You know what I mean? So like,
Like, what do you? I don't understand what he asked. Like, what does he look like?
what does he look like? Bro, this
How
goes
does
back
God look
this
like?
goes back to the first evidence that God exists. Order and design point to a designer. I'm convinced that you have a rational mind, but I haven't touched your mind, I haven't smelled your mind, I haven't seen your mind. But the evidence of your articulate speech and the way you do things in an orderly fashion convinces me that you must have a rational mind. So in like manner, I can't see God, I can't audibly hear God, I can't touch or smell God. But the order and design of the universe, the order and design of the human body demands an intelligent mind.